Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another one of my FIFA 14 tutorials. Now today's tutorial is going to be covering a topic that I've seen a lot of you guys send me messages about, and that is analysing mistakes. I've had a lot of comments saying, can you either show me games where you lose or show me examples where you make mistakes so we can learn from them. So what I'm going to be doing today is running you through some of the goals I've conceded recently, showing you where I went wrong and showing you what you should have done to hopefully cut out the similar mistakes that you're making in your games. So let's get straight on with the commentary. Now, this first example is a goal I conceded against a counter-attack, and counter-attacking is a very, very effective way of scoring goals in FIFA 14, but they can be defended as long as you pay attention to some key areas, and I'm going to run through that very quickly here. But as you can see, as the clip pauses here, my opponent is on the counter-attack, but I'm in a relatively good position to defend this. As you can see, I've got 3 defenders back behind the ball. I've got my left back at the bottom of the screen, Patrice Evra, tracking back nicely, and I've got another 4 midfielders in a position where, as long as the defence slows the counter-attack down, they'll be in a position to come in, put some pressure on, and eventually, hopefully, win the ball back. Now, as the clip rolls on here, you can see how the attack develops. My opponent plays the ball into the feet of the striker, and then he checks back, and as you can see, as the clip pauses here, he is clearly trying to get the ball in behind for the attacker at the bottom of the screen. Now, I'm still in a good position to defend this. I have my left back in a good position to be able to track back if the ball's put wide, and I have my 2 centre backs in a good position. One can go and put pressure on the ball, whilst the other one can come back and cover the run. However, this is where the first mistake comes in. Instead of keeping my centre backs in a line to try and deal with it, or perhaps even running one towards the bottom of the screen to try and cover that run in behind, I press the secondary player pressure button. Now, as the clip runs forward, you can see what this does. It pulls my centre-back out of position and leaves a big gap in behind my defence for the attacker to make a run through. However, this is not the only mistake I make. If you have a careful look at the bottom of the screen, I actually play the forward onside with my left-back Patrice Evra. So I make 2 errors in this move. I press the secondary player pressure button at the wrong time, pulling a centre-back out of position, and I run back with my left-back in such a way to play the attacker onside. If I just checked my run, or if I brought that centre-back across to cover the run instead, I would have probably stopped the through ball, and it would have resulted in me not conceding a goal. This final clip I'm going to show you is another example of just how very, very small mistakes can leave your defence open from a position which looks remarkably solid to begin with. Now, as you can see here as the clip pauses, I'm in quite a nice position to defend this. My opponent only has 4 attackers in my half. To defend against this threat, I've got both wingers back in the half. I have all of my defenders roughly in position. One centre-back's a little bit in front of the other, but it's not the end of the world. I've got one midfielder tracking back to put pressure on the ball, and I've got Michael Essien, who's my controlled player, about to go and put a little bit more pressure on the ball. So, on the face of it, this is a really, really strong defensive position. However, as the clip begins to slowly roll forward, you can see how things begin to unravel. My opponent just played a little dinked pass which took Michael Essien out of the game, and you can see that in this still image here. You know, Essien has gone from being in front of the ball with his back to goal, looking pretty solid, to all of a sudden being taken out of the game. In response to this, I switched to my right full-back Pablo Zabaleta, and in my mind what I'm looking to do is put pressure on the ball as quickly as possible. And the reason why I want to do this is just why I've explained. I've seen Michael Essien be taken out of the play by one pass, and if you have a look, the attacker has a lot of space to run at my back 4. So immediately in my head I go, I need to put pressure on the ball straight away. However, if you look in the centre of my defence, you can see, as the clip slowly rolls forward, my opponent's striker making a good arcing run to run in behind the back 4. Now, as you can see from this still image, because I've charged Pablo Zabaleta up to put pressure on that initial player, I have left an absolutely monumental amount of space in behind the back 4 for the striker to exploit. And as you can see as the clip rolls forward here, he does that exceptionally well with a tremendous finish. So, in this goal, I made 2 mistakes, and these are really small mistakes again. I put pressure on the ball with Michael Essien and then didn't react quickly enough to the pass, which took him out of the game, and then instead of just checking back with the fullback, slowing the breakdown and allowing my midfielders to get back into position, I was too gung-ho with the press with Pablo Zabaleta, and that allowed my opponent to slot a ball in behind, which he finished exceptionally well. So guys, that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed me sitting through and analysing why I've conceded goals, because there's no doubt in my mind that you guys will be sitting there in the same position sometimes thinking, what have I done? Why have I conceded that goal? And obviously you guys don't have the ability that I do to sit through all my replays and have a look, but these are some very, very common mistakes. I've made mistakes like this before, and there's no doubt that I will again. But the very, very important thing is to appreciate what you've done wrong. And these are just very, very small things. You know, it's half a second running in the wrong direction. It's a split-second decision to push instead of to sit back. But if you can sit there and appreciate why you've conceded a goal, you will improve so, so much faster than the player who just goes, oh, that's rubbish, I've just made a mistake, I'm so bad at FIFA, and starts to rage. So guys, thank you so, so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed the analysis. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.